The trouble didn't arrive with thunder. It arrived with silence, an unnatural, bone-cold silence that made Rowan Maddox freeze as he stared at his buzzing phone lying abandoned on the diner counter. He had missed 3 calls, all from Arya, his daughter, 16 years old, his entire world wrapped into one stubborn, bright, beautiful girl. And now she wasn't answering. Her backpack had been found tossed in an alley. A security camera showed her being dragged into a van by a man whose face Rowan burned into his memory the moment he saw it. Under the harsh midday sun pouring through the diner windows, something inside Rowan snapped, not with anger, but with terror, a kind of terror only a father can taste, sharp as smoke in his throat. Before we continue, if you believe in courage, kindness, family, and standing up for what's right, take a second to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Rowan Maddox wasn't just a father. He was president of the Iron Reapers, one of the most feared biker clubs on the highways, yet one of the most loved in their community. People feared their thunderous engines but trusted their hearts. Rowan, with his tattooed arms and scarred knuckles, had always led with a strange mix of strength and compassion. But Arya softened him. She was the color in his gray life. She loved photography, stray dogs, and riding behind him during sunrise rides. She was his anchor, and now she had been stolen from him. Within an hour, the name surfaced: Kieran Vale, a spineless dealer with a dangerous streak, chased out of Iron Reaper territory months earlier for trying to poison miners with his trash. Rowan had personally warned him never to return. But vengeance has a rotten imagination. Kieran found the one way to hurt Rowan. He took Arya. The sun was high, casting long shadows across the abandoned industrial district as Rowan and his club rolled in, engines rumbling with a promise. Their boots echoed against concrete as they walked toward the warehouse where Kieran hid. Rowan felt guilt gnawing at him with every step. He had spent so much time protecting everyone else. He forgot danger could slip into the places closest to his heart. He remembered Arya as a baby, her tiny fingers gripping his thumb. He remembered the first bike he taught her to ride, a little pink one with streamers. He remembered her laughter, her voice telling him he wasn't as scary as everyone believed. But now she was tied to a chair in a dark room, waiting for him to find her. Inside the warehouse, sunlight spilled through shattered windows, dust floating like tiny ghosts in golden beams. Kieran stood smirking, but his smirk hid shaking hands. Arya sat tied to a wooden chair, her hair tangled, her face streaked from crying, but her eyes lit up with hope when she saw her father. The sight nearly buckled Rowan. He walked toward Kieran with a calm so frightening it made even his own men tense. The Iron Reapers stood like iron statues behind him, silent and immovable. Rowan's voice was low, steady, a quiet storm building. He demanded Arya's release. Kieran tried to bargain, his voice trembling as the reality settled in. He had crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed. Arya watched her father, watched the mix of heartbreak and fury in his eyes. She saw the tears he tried so hard to bury. Rowan wasn't perfect. His past was messy. His fists had seen too many fights. But his love for her was the purest thing he had ever known. Rowan freed Arya with shaking hands, brushing her hair away from her face the way he used to when she was little. She fell into his arms, trembling, and he held her like the world could collapse and he would still refuse to let her go. Sunlight cut through the room like a blessing, turning the moment into something sacred. A father getting back the piece of his heart he thought he had lost. Behind them, the Iron Reapers dealt with Kieran, ensuring he would never hurt another soul. But Rowan didn't even look. His world had narrowed to Arya, her breathing, her warmth, her safety. He guided her outside into the warm afternoon air. The moment sunlight touched her face, she closed her eyes, breathing freedom as if it were something rare and fragile. Rowan knelt in front of her, brushing dust from her hands, apologizing through trembling words. Arya cupped his cheek and whispered, "It's not your fault, Dad." And for the first time in years, Rowan let himself feel everything: fear, relief, heartbreak, gratitude. The other bikers stood nearby, their rough faces softened. They hadn't shown up because Rowan was their president. They showed up because Arya was family, because Rowan wasn't just a leader, he was their brother. The sun lit the leather patches on their backs, turning them into silhouettes of loyalty. Rowan helped Arya onto his bike, fastening her helmet gently. When the engine roared to life, she wrapped her arms around him, resting her head against his back, a gesture that felt like coming home. What the Iron Reapers did that day was revenge. It was love, loyalty, protection, a reminder that even the hardest men carry hearts capable of breaking and healing. They didn't just save a girl. They reminded Rowan that even the strongest fathers need someone to fight beside them. And sometimes heroes don't show up with wings. They show up on roaring engines. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. And before you go, remember, family is everything.